Good evening and welcome everybody to another edition of Music and Mixing Show. I'm DJ Michael Joseph, and I'm your guide here on this strange little trip down the life of a mixed DJ. And I think tonight's going to be a fun show. We're going to be talking about gear. We're going to be talking about some new gear specifically too, but we're also going to be talking about, and again, I'll probably say this 12 times, we're going to be talking about, this is kind of the way I want to approach it tonight, talking about switching styles of gear. Should you? What do you need to think about and look for? And I'll explain all that here in a bit. But right now, if you've never watched the show before, what we do at the beginning of the show, we always welcome everybody into the chat, give them a couple minutes to come into the chat for asking questions tonight. And we do shout-outs, where everybody's from and that sort of thing. So hang in there with us, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or somewhere else. I think we're on 7 places tonight, so I think that's awesome. We are over on DJNTV's Twitch channel tonight, so we're on a lot of places, so hang in there with us. Like I said, if you're hanging out right now, just give me a shout out in the chat. I can see, no matter where you put it, let me know where you're from, because I like to watch and see where everybody's tuning in at, because we really get a lot of international people on this show. So top of the hour, DJ Matt, what's going on? Matt, I forget where you're from, I apologize. John C., what's going on? He is from Boston, and see, I didn't say it with the accent this time. John's got a lot of cool mixes and stuff. He does a live show several times a week over on Twitch, and gives me a lot of support too, so I appreciate that. Anybody else in the chat? There's Nathan. What's going on, man? How are you doing? If you're someplace far away from where I'm from, put it in the chat so I can see where that's from. I appreciate it. We got people watching all over the place tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about gear. We're talking about the new Denon gear. We're going to be talking... Matt's from Youngstown. That's right. I knew that. Lon, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. People tuning in tonight. Like I said, we're going to talk about some gear. North Alabama. That's right, Nathan. Not just Alabama. North Alabama. It's like Southern California considers itself a separate state. You're from California, I'm from Southern California. But yeah, tonight's gonna be cool, like I said, because I wanna address, and again, I wanna address what the thought of switching total different types of brands. Lon's from Atlanta, cool. What's going on? Welcome. We got, like I said, we got a bunch of people tuned in. Howie, the Dark Star, the man, the myth himself. If you guys missed it, we did a great show on the Monday Night Chat show this past week. It is with Howie, and we talked about the online DJ Expo that we did on Disc Jockey News a couple weeks ago, where I got to do a little 10-minute talk. You can go back and watch all of the videos from the TED Talk thingy. I'm sorry if that's a copywritten thing, I shouldn't say that. And you can also look at Monday night's video where we broke it down, give our opinions of the different things like that. So, who else is there? DJ Nate Dog is his name. That's right. Denny Bel Air, Maryland. That's not Denny Bel Air, Maryland. It's Denny from Bel Air, Maryland. John Jazz, what's going on, Jazz? Prince Georgia. CFX Corp is from Prince Georgia, Virginia. Prince George, Virginia. I'm just tying words together there. Ronald Miles, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Great night. We got people on Twitch. Appreciate that. I get to see the Twitch logos. I mean, the emojis from over on Twitch. If you're not familiar with Twitch, you guys really need to get yourselves tied into that. There's a lot of great DJs, a lot more than just DJing over there. There's good education, different things, and I do do this show once a month over there, where I get to talk about music and actually play music. Because we try to play it here and we'll get busted for copyright stuff, but over there we can get away with it. Just a couple minutes, we'll get started here. Love the fact that everybody's tuning in. Everybody always tunes into this show late. I should just start it later on purpose. Used to go to a youth group when I was younger, and the guy had the starting time as 7:17, so that you would remember the time, but also the fact that it was actually starting at 7:30, and he just told you 7:17 to get there early. So, Ken from Florida, what's going on, man? How are you? Hope you're doing there. Hope you're doing well there. I'm losing words today. Today has been a challenging day mentally, working here in the studio. Nothing bad, just a lot of thoughts, a lot of working on stuff, different projects, trying to keep my brain together. Like I said, we got some good stuff tonight. Robin is cooking. Now, I've sat in the late night chat with Robin, and she tells about some of the recipes and different things she's cooked. She was talking about, what was it? Was it dumplings or something the other night? And I was like, dang, and here I am. I just like heat up instant mashed potatoes and think I'm doing something. But glad to have you in tonight, Robin. We're going to be talking about gear. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. Matt, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Matt tunes in from work. He tuned in the other night when I was DJing my thing. I don't have any music tonight, but we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about gear. And I think it's going to be some cool stuff. So I'm ready to get started if you guys are. All right, cool. All right, so tonight I want to talk about gear. And more specifically, I want to talk about, I can answer any kind of gear questions you have tonight. It's not just going to be chicken and dumplings. That's what it was. Thank you, Robin. And she was telling me how she made them and the fact that I feel bad that I have canned versions of chicken and dumplings on my shelf, and I shouldn't do that. Her and Jimmy were busting me because of that. So, hey, it is what it is, all right? I'm not much of a cook. I never claimed to be, so there you go. But we're going to talk specifically tonight gear. I want to, like I said, again, you can ask me any question you want about gear, but I want to talk about switching gear types. Like, basically what I'm talking about is that if you are on turntables, what you need to look for when you switch to, like, Rain 12s. Or if you're going to switch to the Rain 1, or if you're going to switch to a phase system, or if you're going to get a controller and start using a controller. If you use a small controller and you decide to get a big controller, if you have a big controller and you want to get a small controller, stuff like that. We're going to talk about switching up, mainly because if you did not know, Denon just put out a new piece of equipment, and it isn't terribly new. It's good, though. I like it, and I'm anxious to get my hands on it. A couple of the specs about it I kind of like, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you pictures of it. But the idea is that with this new device, they don't have a lot of stuff in the Denon thing that I want to move to next. So I was debating on where I was going to go brand-wise, and I still am. I don't know. But with them coming out with this new product, and like I said, I'll share some pictures with it here in a minute, it gives me an option at least that if I want to stay on the Denon family, I can. Nathan asked about the Rain 1. I will definitely talk about the Rain 1 tonight for absolutely sure. But let's go ahead and jump over to the other side, and we're going to talk a little bit about the new Denon one. And again, we're going to talk about switching, because for me, if I switch to this, I'll be switching from a single controller to 3 pieces. So it's still going to work about the same as a controller, but it's going to be 3 pieces. And that's the whole idea about, that I thought maybe somebody might want to talk about. Again, a big switch can be going from a little controller to a big controller, or vice versa. Or if you want a smaller backup and what it's like to mentally move to that backup. So we're going to talk about switching types of controllers. So let me switch screens here, and we will go over to the left side. Here we go. Okay, so this is the brand new Denon LC6000, and the difference between this and the, see if I can find it here. No, it's not going to be under that one. It's going to be under this one, and we're going to go, I'm going to try to find it. I have a comparison picture that's pretty good for that. Nope, wrong folder. There we go. 80, and here we go. I'll bring it over to the other side, and we'll bring it over here, and zoom that in. And basically this is the difference between the Denon SC6000 and the Denon LC6000, is that the LC does not have a screen on it. So it is not a standalone that you can put a thumb drive in and DJ from. It basically is a single-sided controller, much like some of the ones that Newmark used to have. Much like hooking up the Rain 12s, because it works basically the same way as the Rain 12s, because Rain 12s, you need a mixer and a computer program. Pardon me. And Denon put this out, and I think it, excuse me, and I think it hits a little bit of a niche, their niche, whichever you want, I don't care. That I think fits some people, like I said, because I don't want to go to the Prime 4, because I'm not a fan of the Prime 4. I don't want the Prime 2, it's too small. Prime Go's too small. But maybe switching to a set of these and maybe get a Pioneer mixer like the S11 mixer, that this could be something I could go to, maybe. I don't know. But the idea of the fact is that the switch would be from a single unit to 3 pieces, 2 controllers and a mixer. These are going to be running out of the box brand new, $600 each. So that's a little bit of a price. They do run off of USB power if you want to run off USB power. I'm going to move this over here and we'll go down the page a little bit here. You can hook them up in parallel with, oops, let me make sure this is out of the way. All right, so you can go in parallel with other things, and you can run them in layers. So you can run these with the two Denon 6000s, and you still don't need a computer because they will run in parallel on that. You can hook them up via, like I said, this is the way I was talking about that it would be two of them, a mixer, and that it does play plug and play right now with Algorithms DJ, Serato DJ Pro, and Virtual DJ right out of the box. You can run 4 decks that way, or you can attach it to 2 outer decks to your current controller, whatever it is. And like I said, it basically is a second controller. It does all the stuff that the Prime SC6000 does, but it does not have the ability to put a thumb drive in. It is not a standalone player, and it is not a standalone unit, which those are 2 totally separate things, and I just want to make sure that's clear. So, like I said, I would be running it in some sort of case like this. It does have the ability that if you want to run it with a powered hub, these will power off just the USB, so you don't need the power cord. So that kind of setup right there. The thing that I think is kind of interesting about this is that when you switch to this compared to right here, and I want to make sure I quote the right numbers here. Yeah, that it's 6. The LC is 6 pounds. Did I get that right? 6 pounds or 12 pounds? Give me 10 seconds here. I'm going to bring up the email that he sent me because I wanted to clarify that. Yeah, 6 pounds. And the other one is 12. So it's literally half the weight of the other one. So that's kind of an interesting thing that you're dropping down that much in weight. And again, I think that's kind of neat that we're now seeing some of that. But like I said, this was my thought behind this whole discussion of switching things, because if I were to switch to this product, I would have to then purchase a mixer, okay? So I'd have to have a mixer, and I would have to make sure I have cords to tie them all together too. If I buy a mixer that has USB plugs in it, then I wouldn't have to have a hub. But if I get a mixer that doesn't have USB sound card in it, I would have to switch to a hub of some sort. So there are all kinds of things to switch about. There are 3 things to carry. Would I carry them in 3 single cases, or would I carry them in 1 coffin with a small mixer or a big mixer or something like that? Would I try to tie this into the current controller I have? Stuff like that. But there is a lot of options like that, and I want to kind of bring it to your attention that there is other options besides what you use. And again, it all has to tailor in what you do, because we all don't DJ the same places. So like I said, this show's mainly about the mix DJ. So for me, the equipment is the most important thing. The stuff I'm physically DJing on, because that is what I'm pounding on all night long. I'm not moving from the booth. I'm not on the microphone. I'm not out talking to people. I don't have to have speakers. I don't have to have lights. I just have to have the ability to mix and something to mix with. And that's why I say that these are different. So like the Rain, we'll go over here to the Rain. I'm pretty sure I still have that open. There's the Rain one. Okay, so let me tick on the one here. So more info. So the Rain one is, give or take, the same size as the Pioneer. That's Newmark. We'll go to Pioneer, and we want to go to Products. We want to go to DJ Controllers. Sorry if it's kind of jumpy while I'm doing a lot of this right now. But it's give or take the same size as the 1000, whether it be the SRT or the regular, because keep in mind that both of those, I'm not sharing that. Dang it, left screen. Okay, so keep in mind that the SRT and the regular 1000 are exactly the same size. And I also want to point out the fact that, I kind of thought about that with this, the 1000 is can work with Virtual DJ or Record Box. And the SRT works with Virtual DJ or Serato. But the Prime LC6000 works with Virtual, Serato, Algorithm, but not record box. So I kind of want to point all that out. But these two are about the same size. Keep that in mind. The only difference is, in my opinion, is that here you're buying platters that are motorized. So if you're switching from a motorized to a non-motorized, that's a big step in the same, and I think it's actually more of a step going from non-motorized to motorized, because you are learning different muscle memory of when you're releasing, pushing, letting go, the feel. Your scratch heaviness is going to be totally different. Nudging forward, backwards, all that kind of stuff is, again, totally different. So if you are thinking about switching to one like this, or off of some sort of turntables, reins, or whatever, that's something you have to take thought for, because you are going to have to take time to readjust to, like I said, nudging the platters or whatever like that. That's a big deal. One of the things that it's kind of easier is because in the center of here, you have these paddle knobs, and this is generally set up the same as the Rain mixer. So if I can bring that up over here. Mixer, open a new one. Okay, so we're going to the mixer. So it's 72 MK2. We're going to look at 72 MK2. So it's set up basically the same as the mixer, but minus buttons. Obviously, there's minus buttons with the paddles and stuff like that. So again, stepping away from something that has the paddles to something that doesn't have the paddles, that's going to be a big adjustment. So you have to think about this stuff. Again, if you're someone who wants to DJ in clubs and stuff like that, almost 100% of the time, you're going to have to DJ with, let me get the players here up. You're almost 100% of the time going to be spinning with probably, like again, some clubs do have turntables still, but you're probably going to be DJing with one of these CDJs. Not this one, because this is the tour one. This is crazy expensive. But you'll probably have the 2000 Nexus, the 900 Nexus, maybe something like that. If the club's got a lot of money, they're going to buy the brand new CDJ 3000. But these are the things you're going to be spinning with on a regular basis. So it might benefit you, instead of going towards the Rain, you would go towards one of those as a runaround device. And that's, again, you have to familiarize yourself with the stuff you're going to be using. So if you be switching from your setup to going to a club or something and using someone else's setup, or you're an opening DJ for someone else, you might be sharing equipment. So switching equipment is going to be something you have to get used to. And this is why I'm considering switching away from Denon, because nowhere do I go that there other people are using Denon. There's no clubs, there's no bars, there's nothing where I'm ever at that Denon equipment is there. So I have to kind of get used to something different. And I can jump on this kind of stuff, and do have to quite often, easily. But my thing for switching is that if I'm going to be jumping on them more regularly somehow, if I start getting more invitations to go places, I want to be more familiar with it, and I want to be able to plug and play and run like a mad person with them. So that's something you have to think about in the gear switching. And like I said, with Denon's thing, this probably wouldn't be a big departure for me from the 7000, aside from the 7000 is a one piece. And the button layout is a little different. You're still going to have 8 Q buttons and different things like that, but it is going to be different. It does have torque adjust on the platter, so you can be light or heavy, which I like really, really light ones, and other people like really, really heavy ones. The load controls are going to be about the same, which most of them have them in there about the same. But this is just something you have to think about. And it's something I'm thinking about very seriously, like I said, because I'm probably going to be switching this year, and I actually think it's going to benefit me if I wait until fall. I don't have to have any equipment, and especially right now, how sparsely I'm DJing. I was out last Saturday. One of the local casinos had me in for the night. So I'm not really out there a lot. So I'm not rushing into buying something new right now. But I'm thinking, and I'm debating on the Rain, because I like motorized platters. I've always liked them. But I also like the Pioneer SRT. I don't think I'd get the gold. Is it going to switch for me? Yeah, I don't think I'd get the gold or the white. One of the places that I may be spinning at this summer has a white one in the booth. So that might be something to think about. But I'd probably end up getting a skin on it anyways, because I after putting the 12-inch skin on my 7000, I love the protection. I love the feel of it. I love all that kind of stuff. So again, I want to go back and let you guys ask some questions now. Like I said, I'm not necessarily done talking about these. I can come back again in a minute. But I want you guys to tell me your thoughts on switching, because I know a lot of you are thinking about new equipment. And there's a lot of different styles out there. Some of you have been on the same equipment your whole life, and you might be thinking about something new. And this would be the time to ask the questions, to kind of talk your way through it. Because for me, talking my way through stuff with someone else is how I kind of get the whole feel of that. Because it helps me understand what I want. Like I said, I really like the Rain, but if I want to do DJ with something where I'm going to be most familiar with everywhere I go, the Rain, the Pioneer SRT is probably going to be the route that I want to go. So I don't know. So let's look at some questions here in the chat. Like I said, if you got something, throw it in there. My current controller, Nathan's current controller is the DDJ SB3. That is a Pioneer, in case you don't know. Controllers, and we'll show that one off too. Left screen. It's the SB3. See, that's the thing with Pioneer, that no matter what you want, they have something that will fit everybody. And this is the one that he's run, SB3. I have used this. I think I have one of my students that has this. Very solid, very capable. I'm not sure what kind of plugs it has in the back. All right, so you have RCA outs only on that. So again, thinking about switching, you have to think about it. Here's something to think about. The Rain 72 and the Pioneer, I want to throw this up there, the Rain 72, and we're going to go with mixers. We're looking at the new S11 is what I want to look at. And I want to talk about mics. All right, so this thing here is running you $2,000-ish, give or take. Nothing up front, and there's the back. One mic channel and one mic channel. So that's something you have to think about, that a lot of people really love this, and I think it's a very good mixer too. I'm not going to argue. It's a great mixer. $2,000, one mic hookup. So these are things you need to think about with what you want to get, because it might not benefit you like that. But people like me who are doing mixing, we don't care about mics, because we don't really use them that much, and it's not that much. Usually it's in a noisy place, and I'm screaming into the mic something, hey, you guys sing along, blah, 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 stuff like that. So stuff to think about. Going back to the screen and talking about questions. Oh, I meant to look at the other one there, the SB3, so that you know what we're doing there. Left screen, there we go. Okay, so that's it. Pretty basic, but they have a lot of different ones. So that's something you can kind of take into granted there, that there's a lot of good controllers out by them, and this is the SB3. Moving on down there, State of Zen, what's going on? Thank you for joining us tonight. John Collins says he has both the 1000 record box and the 1000 SRT with white skins, over 2 years with them, and very happy. Again, I like the skins. Let me know which skin, John, you put on yours, which brand, whether it was 12-inch or one of the other ones. Like I said, I have one on my 7000, and it only took me having that on there for a couple minutes to know it's going to be on everything I own from now on, just because it's, like I said, we DJ, so we're moving with the fader all night long and doing stuff, and our hands, after like a year, start wearing into that paint. And it's not fun to look at that and see it all wore out, especially when you want to sell it and it's all marked up. So I'm absolutely investing in skin for the next one. Again, in the chat, throw in any questions you might have or anything like that. I can't answer anything about chicken and dumplings. Maybe you can ask Robin, but I can't help you with that. But again, it's gear. We all love it. We geek out about it. I don't know how many of you plan or not plan on going to the DJ Expo in the fall, and we don't know what brands and companies are going to be there, so we don't know who's going to be able to put hands on what. Like I said, the Rain 1 is out, and I have not been able to touch one yet. The local Guitar Center does not have any. They sell out. The last time I talked to them, they said they might have some in for sale the first of the month, but that's still not going to have one there as a display. So, pardon me. that's something to think about, that, with the way things are, we're not getting to try out as many pieces of equipment as we used to. Like the Denon, for example, I have not tried out the, let me think, I've not tried out the Prime 2, the Prime Go, or the LC. I've not tried any of those. I have used the 1000 and stuff. I've not tried Pioneer's new one, which is, what is that one? It's got a goofy name. It's not a mixer. I always forget the name of it. He just came out with it. It is a controller. And it should be right at the top of the list because it's their newest one, the FLX6. I have not tried this one yet, so I don't know what this one's like. Get that to open up there and show us that one. There we go. A lot of cool things about this one. This has a lot of really original stuff in there. It's neat. A little bit more compact. Again, there's not a lot of plugins on it. Again, you're running RCA only outs, no XLR outs or anything like that. So that's interesting. John Jazz says, okay, if not the Rain 1, what other motorized controller would you recommend? Well, right now, the only two you have, well, actually you have three. You have the Rain 1. You have an older, which I believe now is 5 years old, the Newmark NS7. They have also the Newmark S7s, I believe they're called. These are also older. Yeah, so these are the V7s, which are single motorized platters. And I have a friend who owns them, and he likes them. There's a couple Denon ones that have motorized. And the other one is the Denon. I'll go to the player here. It's their 6000M, and the M is for the motorized. So we want to look for the right here. So this is theirs. They have the 5000M and the 6000M. And I did get to play around with this one a little bit last year. Like it also. But it is a motorized single unit. So my guess is that the next one that Virtual might come out with is a motorized LC 6000 without the screen. And again, that could take it to a whole new level for someone like me who wants something like that, is possibly two single motorized units. But I don't want to carry around a giant Rain 12. So that's part of it. I love the Rain 12, but I just don't want to carry around something that big. So it could work possibly in my advantage to have two of these and a 4-channel mixer of some sort. I don't know. It would be a lot to get used to, I think, because it would be such a switch on a lot of ways. And what kind of coffin would I fit it in, and how would I feel about lugging that coffin and up the decks of up the stairs of some of the places that I have to do that to? I don't know. So that would be if you want a single one, your only choice is the Rain, an old Newmark NS7. If you want individuals, you have the Denon M series of the primes. You have the Rains. You have the V7s. You have a couple of different Denons, like again, these are all legacy products, the 3900 and different ones like that. Jess says, I have the 1200 turntable, the NS7, and a 1000 Pioneer SRT. Again, you could go the route of the turntable and get yourself a phase system, which again works kind of the same, but it's kind of neat, and they're doing a lot of upgrades to that are making them run like incredible wirelessly and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of neat on that level too. Again, hit me up with any questions you have on any of this. If you want to see any pictures of it, get my opinion on it. That's what I'm here tonight for. I didn't have a lot to go into deep on this because I just was going to hit you guys your questions about gear, and that's kind of what I want to do. Is it doesn't even have to be gear that I've talked about. If you have questions about other stuff, say I'm thinking about this one, and we'll bring it up and we'll talk about it like that. But that's where I'm at. Like I said, that I'm on the fence. I don't need anything right now. But I'm definitely thinking about going a direction, and I'm probably going to wait till the fall of the DJ Expo in the fall, and see what company comes out with what between now and then, and think about making my move then. But like I said, because of wanting to be familiar with stuff that I do out at other places and DJing with other people, the Pioneer is pulling me closer. Again, I don't like a lot of the stuff that Denon. I love Denon. I've been DJing with Denon for over 20 years, literally over 20 years. Little CD players back in the club days. I'm talking not even like turntable CD players. What was that one? The Denon. Back in the day here. See if I can remember what they look like. Yeah, there we go. There's a couple. So back in the day, you had something. It was probably this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. So you had share here, left screen. So you had the bottom thing is 2 CD players. Let me bring that up so you can see it there. So these are the 2 CD players that were mounted next to you, and then this upper unit was what do they call that? Rack mounted in front of you. And this wheel was not a scratch wheel. It was just to nudge tracks forward and backwards a little bit. But you had the couple of clubs I spun at, this is all they had. So if you were going to spin there, you did not take your own equipment. You came in and you had to DJ on this, and that's all there was to it. You're nudging the pitch fader. There was no sync buttons. There was no cue points. There was none of that stuff. State of Zen said, how can you be DJing for 20 years if you're only 29? I have actually been DJing 33. Let me rephrase that. I've been a paid DJ for 33 years. So take out what you want there. But yeah, Matt says he has the rack mounts. Like I said, they had several of them. I think this is the one they had in the club. I don't remember if it's this one or the other one. But this is what we spun on. Like I said, I've been spinning on this kind of stuff since the late 90s. I've been with Denon that long. I've had the 1000s, the 1200s, the 7000, both 6000s. I had the Prime 4 in the studio for about 3 weeks, different things like that. And for me to switch off of them is a big step because I literally have been using the same brand for that many years. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but with them coming out with the LC 6000, that makes me think that they're working towards something that is more traditional, away from the Prime 4 style of controller, which I'm excited about that. Going down the list here, DJ Miz says had the DDJ 1000 since 19 and love it, but I would like, hold on here, I have stuff in front of your words there, but would like a small standalone unit from the same company like the Denon Prime Go. Oh, okay. That is something that I'm looking at Pioneer going, their next thing could be one of two things. It could be a standalone, like you're talking about, like the Prime 4, or I think that they're probably going to come out with their own version of the Rain 12, a motorized full-size platter. One of those two, I think they're going to come out with this within 2021, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't have any inside information, but that's my guess. And you know me, I do pretty good at the guessing. So yeah, Jess said it had a set like that. Newmark, yep, Newmark had them also. I want to go here, and I want to show one of the Newmarks here. Hold on. Newmark controllers. Share my screen. All right, so we're going to Newmark, and they came out with last year. And we're going to go to controllers. Something that I thought was kind of neat, because I showed you like the you're looking at the where did it go there? Where'd you go? All right, so you have like the S11. Come on, thank you. The S11 with the paddles. You have the Rain with the effects paddles, both of them with the paddles. Well, Newmark came out with one last year that has the paddles on it, and I think it's Platinum FX. It's one of these two. I think it's both of them actually that have them. Hold on. If not, we'll go backwards. Yeah, so this has the paddle effects the same. And so this one has the paddle effects. Now, I have nothing against Newmark. I don't think this is the highest grade of equipment. But if they made a full-size one of these, because this is smaller than like the 7000, smaller than the 1000, smaller than the Rain 1. If they made one the size of that, the size of the Rain 1, 7000, all those in that range, and upgraded this to be a little bit more professional, better sound card, better buttons, and I would hope larger platters, Newmark is a direction that I might give a try. If they made this bigger and more professional, this is the direction that I might go. I like the fact that some of them are now going to that paddle effects thing, and I like that. So that is something that I would consider also down the road. But again, this one here, it doesn't have all the hookups. Let me go to the right one there. You're dealing, again, with just RCA out. So I absolutely cannot use stuff like that. It just doesn't work for the places I DJ. So let's go back to here, and we're going to hit some more questions in the chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I hope it's not a boring one. I always do open question the last Wednesday of the month, and I decided to do open question about equipment tonight. Look here. Okay. Robo Start or whatever it was saved me if I had to step away from the booth for a bit. I don't even know what Robo Start is, because a DJ DJs. Kidding. I'm kidding. Don't be mad. Kidding. Newmark CDN. We'll look that up. We shall look that up. CDN. That's it. That is absolutely a good call in there. The 77 and a couple other ones. I'm just going to randomly bring one up here, and I'm not sure which one you had, Jess, but there they are. The Newmark. I do remember. I think I spun a place that had them because those dimple things I thought were kind of neat. But that was definitely something that we did there. All right, so somebody asked me, okay, no, this is good. This is not a software question, but it is a software question about hardware. Matt, I'm not yelling at you. I don't remember what the Robo Start is. Is that like an auto mix sort of thing, like it would start the next CD or something? Again, I don't know what that is. Please don't be mad at me. I'm messing with you, but let me know what that is, because again, the ones that I use, the Denons, unless I didn't know them, I had no idea that they could do that, and that, you know, maybe I could have used that for a restroom break or something. Yeah, so Jess said that's it. One of the things I want to point out, and I did this, and I don't know if I can show that on this computer or not. All right, so I'm going to bring up, if I can, bring up virtual. And I'm showing this because of hardware. So in virtual, over here, just above where I'm at, over here, they have put a new thing in. Can I do VDJ zoomed on this? And if I move this over here, okay, so let me zoom in so you guys can see what's going on there. They put a new thing in that lets you create thumb drive files that can be used in both the CDJs that take thumb drives and the Denons that take thumb drives. So I have a little thumb drive here, and I'm going to pop it in over here, and we're going to go into the CDJ export and show you what it can do, just do some really simple stuff with it. But it's kind of neat, and I haven't got to test it yet. In fact, this one right here, I have a file set up there, split into the 3 different ways that you can put stuff in, and we'll throw another one in from this, but show you how it's done. So I'm going to drop the thumb drive in over here. We'll see if it picks up. Whoops. If I push it in 4 different directions before it drops in. All right, so it did find it there. And so there's the thumb drive, and I did put one in. These were put in earlier today. These are the ones I put in earlier today. So if I want to drop another playlist in there, I can go new playlist, and we're going to say studio test, and you can see it up there. I'm just naming it, and then I have a studio test folder that will make, and I can drag some songs into my studio test folder. Let me go here, and if I drag that into there, again, we're creating folders, we're creating stuff to be put in these thumb drives so that you can hold on here, I want to move me out of the way so you can see this. So that you can play these thumb drives directly on a CDJ or a Denon player that takes thumb drives, in there. So we're pulling it into the studio test, and it's going to give me my option that if I want to split my stems up in there, I can. So the first one, I'm just going to drag in no stems. We're going to put it in there, and we go to studio test, and it's in there. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to grab the next one in. And I want to grab a shorter song. That's a long song. And we'll drop this one in here. And it's going to ask me, do I want stems? So I'm going to do the acapella on that one and hit OK. And what it's doing right now, it's calculating. It's going to be really slow because running this computer the way it is, it's going to be super, super, super slow putting that in there. I'm only going to do it this way. I'll explain all of them here in a minute, because you can see how slow it is on this computer, because I'm running all kinds of different stuff and broadcasting and all kinds of stuff. And my studio computer is a very, very old computer, but it does the job. And you can see that's just crazy slow how that's going in there. But what it's doing is creating a stem for the vocals, because I chose only the vocals to be dropped in there. That is so slow. But what it does, it gives you a thumb drive that lets you take the songs, and we're going to go back down to here. And if I right-click on this, is it that one there? Do I want to go here? So I can also hit the check mark there that lets me export all of the changes that I do. That includes cue points. So if I have cue points on those songs that I'm dragging over, it will transport those cue points onto that thumb drive that I can then put in a CDJ and be able to DJ on a CDJ from stuff that I did in mine. So we'll go down to here. The studio, is it still working? Yeah, it's still really slow. So we'll go up to the other one. But you can see that we have the acapellas. What I did is I split it off. So this has a stem for all of it. So if I'm going to play this song, Rock the Boat by Bob Sinclair, this is just the stem of the melody, just the stem of the beat, just the stem of the vocals, and just the stem of the instrumental. And you can either export it to have just a single thing like I did on this song right here where it's just the acapella. So on one of these has just the acapella up here. I don't remember which one it is. I don't remember which one that one is. That is for, yeah. So it lets you, we're finished up there now. So you're going to see now that Hips Don't Lie, there's the acapella and that. So on the Pioneer equipment or on the Denon equipment with the thumb drive, I can have my cue points. I can have stems exported directly from Virtual into that, and this was their latest update. They had it on early release, early access release, and it just came out today for everybody. So if you update today, you're going to have all this, and you're able to just take the thumb drive and then go DJ at stuff from what you had in your Virtual. You don't have to convert anything. You don't have to do anything. And I like that because that is going to give me an option that if I want to get a chance to do a set somewhere, that I can take my cue points, my everything from Virtual and go there with acapellas that other people aren't going to have because Virtual is doing this and the other ones aren't. So I can go there with my and do acapellas, vocal out, instrumental. I can do that when other people can't. And that's what I'm excited about. So that the other one that they did is, I'll show it here too. Left screen, I want to do zoomed, and we're going to move this down to here. So they put a new button over here that lets you put things in there. So like you can have a button here that makes it first scene. So if I go right here, I'm going to highlight this real quick here. And then first scene, what it does, it takes everything in that list. And let's say I'm going to do 80s. And then I can do first scene, and it's going to tailor that by, I didn't do it by that because I don't think those are in there right. And you can sort it by stuff that's come out recently because my first scene is set for the last 31 days. So this has been dropped in the last 31 days, or I can do it by genre and where it just puts it under a genre. But the other thing they did is let you add a color to stuff that's played. So if I have my thing to mark the little red line next to it, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to throw this up there. We're going to turn the volume all the way down, and we're going to watch it play, where before, if you were... move that down because I don't want to get copyright busted. But before, if you were DJing the song, I have mine set for 30 seconds. Other people can have it. You can set it for whatever you want to set it for, but mine is set for 30 seconds. And before, it would just put a little red mark over here to the left. And now, by choosing a color on that edit thing right there, I can now have it highlight the song after it's been played, or whatever parameter I want to do. I can have that for anything. Like I can change that parameter to be anything I want it to be, but I have it set to already played, and you can have it there. You see it just turned the whole track yellow. So you can have that. You can have, I'm going to stop this now, and you can go here to edit, and these are all the different things that you can. I'm going to show the add. These are all the things that you can choose. You can have it color it by grouping, so you can sort by grouping, BPM difference, bit rate, all these things. File date, has user 1. User 1 and user 2 is over here, and I don't know if I can show this or not because I don't know if this works the same. Yeah, so they have done a new thing with user 1 and user 2 that let you hashtag it, so I can hashtag it hit song, and then the second one could be genre, so wedding. So they can be hit song genre, and then I can put that in there as the hashtag, and then it can sort the hashtag by that or color the hashtag something. And that's one of the things that I think is kind of neat with that. But again, some of these are software, but with what he said about take that off of there because I don't want to save that. But we were talking about the fact that it is hardware because you then can take your thumb drives over now on hardware, and I love the fact that you can do that. Let me see here. Okay, Matt's answer that yeah, see, because I have seen I haven't seen any videos on the new ad. Actually, I've done 2 of them. So Matt, go look at DJNTV's YouTube page. I have done 2 videos on both of those. If you go to my YouTube page, I think either one of my, not my YouTube page, either one of my Facebook pages and my Instagram and Twitter and all of those, I posted today links of both videos showing all of that and more, because there's a really good video out there on the fact that you can put effects and backspins and different things to certain stems. So if I want to go there and I have the song playing on the right deck and I want to scratch just the vocal without going to the other side with that split stem effect, I can do that with just the one side on the same thing, playing the same song, and the effects I do only go to the effect that I choose to put it to. And I did 2 videos on those. So please go to DJNTV on YouTube. It's youtube.com/discjockeynews and look for the 2 videos. It's all under Virtual DJ. My show over there about Virtual DJ is called VDJ How To, and they're both on there, and it shows all of that. And those were a couple of weeks ago. So it's been out for a while. But check it out. Look around here. I actually made 2 MP3 discs for St. Patrick's Day one year. My programming skills put in the mix while I was introducing the guests of a full Leprechaun. Okay. Serato has autoplay, which will also play music from crates continuously. Now, the difference between Serato and Virtual is Serato does continuous play. So that means it just plays the next song. Virtual, you can set up 5 different ways that the song transitions, including beat match, quick ins, quick outs, everything. The program mixes. Serato's just changes songs. That's the difference between the 2. But I'm telling you that Serato is working on a mobile version of Serato, and I bet $20 that auto mix is going to be in the mobile version of Serato that they're working on. I've been waiting for this for so long because I didn't use Rekordbox and didn't want to redo cue points and stuff. Yeah, I'm the same way that when I did stuff like 2 years ago at the Virtual DJ Expo, I spun in the Denon booth and spun off thumb drives, and I had to put engine software on my computer, put my songs over there, and translate them all into things and put cue points in. I may have taken the cue points over. I'm not sure. But this just makes it so much simpler for me that if I need to do that, if I go to the expo this fall and I get the opportunity to spin at Denon or anywhere else, I can have my thumb drive, drop it in, and DJ just like I would if I had Virtual in front of me. And I think that's freaking awesome. VJ says, yes, VJ does it as well. We've sure come a long way since the days of the CD decks. Oh my goodness, yes. What we've come from. I just look at the date because I joke about this, that still to this day, if somebody bumps my coffin that my Denon stuff is in, I freak out for about that much of a second because I'm so cringing from back in the days, whether it be records or the early CD players, that if you sneezed hard, they would skip. And still to this day, I still have that defense mechanism. If somebody bumps it or if I bump it myself, going, it's going to skip. But yeah, we've really come a long way there. Ron says, I'm thinking about switching from the Newmark V7s to the Denon SC6000s. Is the Pioneer S7 a good mixer for it? S7's a great mixer. It leaves you somewhat limited about things. We'll bring that up here if you want to bring up the S7. You guys had some butt-kicking questions tonight. I love this. We're going to go to mixers, the S7. The S7 is kind of toned down just a little bit. It's their newest one, but it's a little bit, it's more or less kind of like the an in-between of all of them. Let me go back over here. So it's kind of an in-between of all of them. It has a lot of good hookups on it. It still gives you your pads, your things, your effects knobs. This is one that I had considered that if I end up going with the Denons, that this would be probably the mixer I would go in between that. You've got a lot of controls up front. In the back, again, you're still going to have just one mic, outs and booths. You do have a dual thing in there. So if you did want to hook up 2 Rane 12s, you can go in there, one from each side. Or, like I said, the Denon LC6000, the new ones, you could put one in on each side, and you wouldn't have to have a powered hub. And I like that. So yeah, you're switching from the V7s. Yeah, if you are thinking about the SC6000s, look at the SC6000Ms. They are the motorized ones. So if you like your motorized V7s, try to test those somehow if you can. Find somebody in your area, post online, say, anybody have this? I'd like to try it. Maybe you can, when we're free to go anywhere we want to, you can go and test them out there. Matt says, yes, we have. Amazing. Awesome. Any other questions? We're getting close to the top of the hour here. This was a good night. This is why I wanted to talk about all the different hardware, because I geek out about it. And like I said, I want to talk about it because, like I said, I'm on that in-between fence right now. I don't know which direction I'm going to go. I just know that right now, Denon doesn't have stuff for me because, like I said, the Prime system is just not for me. There's a lot about it that's not for me. So I don't want to go that direction. So I've got to find something else. It may be for you. I'm not saying it's terrible, so please don't think that I'm saying it's terrible. You have to find what works for you. And I've had it in the studio, like I said, for about 3 weeks. Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever I spun on it at the expo, I wanted to have a little time on it. So I got it here in the studio for about 3 weeks, and I knew it wasn't for me after that. So not sure what direction I'm going to go, but there's options. I don't know. I'm curious to see where people go. I'm seeing a lot of posts about the Rane 1. And if you ever hear me talk about the Rane 1, if I say R1, a lot of times I do R1 instead of Rane 1. So if you don't, try not to get confused if I try to shorten it too much, and it doesn't need to be shortened. But the Rane 1 is a direction I'm going. The Pioneer 1000 SRT is the direction I'm thinking about going. But like I said, between now and fall at the Atlantic City DJ Expo, they're all probably going to come out with something, so I don't know what's going to happen. So I think I'm in a good spot to wait, like I said, because I'm not doing a whole lot of gigs right now, so I'm not crucial for equipment. The equipment I have works absolutely great. I even have backups of it. So that's a thought there. All right, we have another question coming in here. We're almost done. DJ Miss says, what do you think we'll see as far as new types of DJ booths or tables for use? I see 2 types this past year from Promo X, Control Tower, and the one DJ Rachel's shown. It's hard to say because trends are coming and going, and we were talking about this on one of the Monday Night Chats a few weeks ago, that the whole podium thing is kind of a trend going on right now. Me as a heavy-handed mixer, I can't use stuff like that. So it's hard to say. I'm seeing a lot of people building their own because they want to put in a lot of custom things. They want to put their mics in so they can just roll it in and stuff like that. But you have to have the right, obviously the vehicle to get it to where you need to go and stuff like that. But I don't know what they're going to come out with that. That's the thing right now, that because we're now just jumping back into the wedding season and people are wedding DJs are getting some gigs. They might be changed, shortened, whatever. I'm sure many of them you've gotten calls on are just plain different this year. So I think what people are going to need might be different what they shop for. So because things are smaller, you might shop for a smaller booth for this summer, and next summer be back to your normal big wedding, big venue where you're going to use a bigger booth. So that's something to think about, that you might be thinking short term and you might also be thinking long term. And that's something to think about, that if you get a big one, you have a lot of small weddings, maybe out in a field, stuff like that, that bigger ones might not suit you as well as smaller ones. So it's hard to say there. Dan just finished his. He posted some pictures of it a couple weekends ago. We are going to have a Monday night chat about our booths. And he said he's going to bring that on and show us all about it. And John's going to show his, and I'm going to show mine. You will laugh at mine. But I think I like mine. Mine works for me. That's all I got to say. But like I said, I think this summer, I think we're just all in a readjust. I don't think we're going to be back into the same mindset of the grind that we always do until next year. So that's why I said equipment-wise, I'm holding off until fall and seeing what the expo has in the fall, what the companies put out. I've also heard that a lot of the companies don't plan on going to the expo. I've also heard some say that they're waiting to see what they're going to have at the expo. Other ones are going, but they're maybe going smaller, or booths are combining, which we did see a lot of that 2 years ago, where we saw brands doing combined stuff, which is really good. So it's going to be different for this year. Don't think we're not. If you watch the Monday night show, you heard me talk about the fact that it's all going to be very messy, blurry, and confusing for the next year of what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do, stuff we're going to need. Keep that in mind. You don't have to buy something just because you need it, because this summer you might need something different for the smaller venues, the outdoor, whatever that you are able to end up getting gigs for. You might need a different setup for this summer and then go back to normal next summer. So. One here, DJ Miss says, when do you think we'll see Ape Labs make a moving head? Wow. I don't think so on them. I really don't. Their simplicity of things, I love the simplicity of them. I got to handle a lot of them in Las Vegas last year when I was at the photo booth / DJNTV DJ Expo in Vegas. And I love the fact of the small placement, completely batteryless. Carry several of them in your hand. They're that small. I don't think they'll make a moving head, because then that has to step into a whole new realm of maybe not wanting to go that direction. So I don't think they will. And if they do, it's going to be compact. You'll know that for sure. So any other questions before we go? Thank you all for hanging out tonight. Appreciate it. We have lots of people viewing from everywhere, both social media platforms and physical places. So thank you guys for hanging out. Keep in mind, I do this each and every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. right here on youtube.com/discjockey news. You can also join me each Monday night, 9 p.m., same place, with John Young, Dan Carpenter for the Monday Night Live chat. We have all kinds of great topics. Last week we had Howie Darkstar on as a guest. A lot of good stuff. I also do 2 other shows on Disc Jockey News that cover they're like little 3-minute or less video shows. The Rewind Report, I just put one out on it about the Denon LC6000, and the VDJ How To is all about virtual DJ stuff. So in the past 2 weeks, I put out 3 videos, 1 Rewind Report, 2 Virtual DJ Expos covering stuff, little short 3-minute videos. Go check them out. Again, youtube.com/Disc Jockey News. They're all there. You can just search for any of them. And if there's anything else that you have questions about, I encourage you to go there and do a search for a video, because I've done so many videos on so many things that I might have answered your question with a video there already. So there will not be an NS7 III. I mean, there is an NS7 III, but there will not be a 4, because I heard that 2 years ago that they said that'll be the end of the NS7s. So if I were to pick between the two, again, you have to choose what do you need. If you need 4-channel, you have to go with the NS7 III. If you don't care about it and want something lighter, go with the Rain 1, because the Rain 1 is significantly lighter, I used to own the, I think it was 2 NS7 II, I think it was that I owned. Loved it, but it was just so heavy for me for the stuff that I do. I got rid of it. It was too much. Loved it, but it was just too much. But that again, if you don't need 4 channels, you might really like the Rain 1. If you don't need all that stuff, but you do like the motorized platters, the Rain 1. Everybody I've talked to said that it feels just like the 12s, the Rain 12s. So if you've used the Rain 12s, they say it feels, the motor and the push and the pull all feels a lot like that. So that might be right up your alley. So, hey, it's 10 o'clock, top of the hour. I'm going to call it a night, and I'm going to probably go eat some food. So until next time, as I always say at the end of the show, it's important that we have to take care of each other, because it's a crazy world. And as we go into summer, it's not going to get any less confusing, and we have to be there for each other, help each other out, send each other gigs, cover each other, lend equipment, whatever it takes to get through this, and then we'll come out the other side, and we can continue to make money doing it, something that we absolutely love, whether it be a full-time or part-time. If you work your way through it, and like I said, you may need help sometimes, backup, so in case you get sick or something gets canceled, have backup friends that can help you on that and all that kind of stuff. So we just got to look out for each other. And that's my little word for the day. And I thank you guys for hanging out. I love this show. I love to get to talk about equipment. I thank you so much. Till next time, take care of yourselves. God bless.